What's good with you? Pretorio Afro. What's good with you? Greetings. Welcome to YouTube. There's a little bit of this on this music. I like my music beds. I didn't want to play one, Pretoria, since I was on another man's show, and I didn't want to give his platform all of me. I had to give him some of me, but I couldn't give him all of me. But I like music beds. So, it's just one of those things where it makes it a little bit smoother for me. I can kind of vibe over what I'm talking about. And hopefully I'm not too hot in here. Appreciate anybody that gets into the Hap space. I just booted Haps up. That's why y'all looking at me through a green screen, because it's green. And everybody else should be checking me out from the American Freedmen. All right, I gotta actually get out of the way here, so you can see that. Peace to the sons and daughters, the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen. Peace to them. Peace to Be the Power. Peace to Tamara Johnson Shealy. Peace to Marlon Watson. Peace to anybody that's in this space doing the right things. I got some family that I'll throw some shouts out to here shortly. Hopefully they'll join me in the chat. I appreciate everybody that came over to the Information Man show. All the new subscribers to Freedman Media. Please, when you come in here, please subscribe to the channel if you have not. Freedman Media on YouTube. You can catch me, Freedman Media, on Instagram. And for some reason, it rebuked my name on Twitter. So I'm going to go back in tonight and try to get on there. I'm not really active on Twitter. So if y'all trying to beef with me on Twitter, it's not going to happen because I don't really use Twitter. Facebook, it's got my government name. If you want my government name, I'm Brother Shannon here, but it's Shannon McFall if you want a Facebook. Really what you're going to get through Facebook is probably a lot of these playbacks and some pictures of some really beautiful babies, my grandkids. Other than that, all my IG stuff goes through there. So, we're going to get into talking about some things in just a second. We're just going to let a couple people just file in here. I ain't going to have but a couple. But I'm going to let a few people file in because this was an impromptu Sunday service. I think everybody felt like I was laying back because I generally do a Sunday stream and I call it Sunday service. But, I held out, a little bit because I wanted to be ready for Information Man, and what he was bringing. And I knew he was going to pull 2-3 hours out of me. So I need to make sure that I was ready to be able to do a Sunday service. So I didn't try to get on and get off. I just waited. I try to show that respect out here in these spaces, Hell, I could have came on before the Information Man show and lost my voice. And then I wouldn't have been no good to the man today. So the big thing for me is that I am viable in this space, And if you can hear me clearly, if you're in this space, please give me a thumbs up. If you're in this space, I'm looking at Pretoria. Greetings once again to you. And there's a few people over in the Hap space. I'm not really looking at the Facebook platform right now. I'm sure the Twitter link went out. But if you're here, you're here. And we're going to get it in. We're going to have some, we just want to have some good dialogue. The big thing for me is decent dialogue in this space. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, I want to talk about some things that, maybe even Information Man and I talked about and expound on them a little bit more. The people that, chucked up that subscribe on his show, I appreciate you. And, where we are in this political space, let's say, where we are is we have to continue to focus on repair. We have to continue to focus on getting better as a people, not only politically, but with one another. I see that we're finding, and this might be just my own testimonial too, a little bit. I'm gonna have a testimonial probably all night, but this will be part of my testimonial. We've got to be better with one another. If we're all working for some positivity out here, okay? If we're working for some positivity, then there is absolutely no reason for us to be fighting one another. If we're both working towards positivity, then why would we end up fighting each other? See, there's got to be a reason that people come to, and literally, I've seen people come to physical blows over what they were supposed to be both fighting for. How can you disagree so vehemently that you become physical and you become enraged at someone that's supposed to be your brother, that's supposed to be on the same side of the playing surface as you? That's a problem with me. So we have to get together, and this just isn't about calling each other nigga, and this just ain't about this, that, and the other. Interracial relationships, and I hear that all the time. How can you be pro-black? I did a video about it yesterday and let motherfuckers know. If you don't like me because I got somebody who's not black, pull up. Tell me about it. But then I also want to tell you about the bitch that fucking almost killed me. Because she was darker than I was. Now, she didn't send me to a white woman. I have beige babies. So I've dealt with white women off and on all my fucking life. But I've also dealt with black ones. I've dealt with Hispanic ones and Asian ones. I've been all across this motherfucker of femininity. Get it? Understands me. I don't discriminate. But what I do discriminate against is against a motherfucker that's bad for me. And the person that's been the worst for me as a mate was my wife. And nobody ever said shit about all the shit she did. But then they say, oh, you be talking like you talking, and you got a white woman. Well, you know what? You got a black woman, and how can you be talking like you talking, you coon-ass nigga? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Y'all motherfuckers can talk some crazy shit sometimes. How can you be talking like that? How can you be talking like that? Really? You wondering how the fuck I'm talking like I'm talking? But I'm wondering how the fuck you talking like you talking. Your daddy should have left you on that fucking mattress. Fuck out of here. Sorry, this was an impromptu show, so people saw me get off that live, and I think they thought I was available. I'm just trying to return some text messages, let them know I'm still a little bit out of pocket because I'm doing my thing. This is real life shit happening. It's just top-notch broadcasting when you got to break away for a text message. So, yeah. So where I'm at, stand up and fight back. Appreciate you in the YouTube space. You generally hit me up over there on Haps, and it looks like I got a few people in the Haps room. Ain't nobody said nothing just yet, but they in there. Hopefully they'll come on. They seeing this green screen. Everybody else catching the Freedman Media logo that I use now from the American Freedman flag. And shout out to the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen and Be the Power. That family over there is giving me great love, great support, and I glean to them. When I need the data, I glean to them. When I need the education, I glean to them. Because they've gleaned to the experts. So why wouldn't I glean to people who know more than me? I don't give a fuck if you're younger than me. All them brothers on Be the Power are younger than me. But they deep. They deep as a motherfucker. And it bothers me. This is another testimonial. It bothers me when I see them brothers come up with all that fucking intellect, with all that data, with all that education, and they got 80 fucking views. That's crazy as fuck to me. their lives will have 80, 90 people strong. Now, they'll end up getting into the thousands, but then how come I'm looking at other people's streams and I ain't pocket watching nobody and I ain't viewer watching nobody and I ain't subscriber watching nobody, but how come the fuck we watching shit that doesn't move our needle? 10, 20,000 deep sometimes in some of these lives, and it should be talking about nothing. Absolutely nothing. Where does that leave you after looking at 2 hours of nothing? Gave you nothing to go on, nothing to move on, nothing to think about how to make your family better. How the fuck do you do that? I mean, I watch television, and I watch a lot of TV that, there's a lot of realistic shit, but there's some shit that probably doesn't happen on a normal basis. But that's why I watch TV, to be entertained. I don't watch TV to be educated. And unfortunately, a lot of people watch TV to be educated, and look what the fuck you're getting. If you're watching CNN to be educated, you're not. You're being entertained. If you're watching MSNBC to be educated, you're not. You're being entertained. It's just not happening. Jasmine Virgo, I appreciate you. I saw you in the chat on the Information Man show. I appreciate your subscriber or your subscription, and I appreciate you coming over. Thank you. I appreciate you. I try to bring the content right from where it starts, in my heart. In my heart. And I appreciate you being a new sub. Stand up and fight back. I know that you've been a sub. Pretoria, I believe you subscribed during the information. So I got new family out here. You know, I don't consider y'all friends. I don't consider y'all followers. I don't consider y'all subscribers. I consider y'all family. Because I can always use more family. I don't need any more kinfolk. I need more family. See, I got kinfolks. I got kinfolks that don't fucking support me. But I don't care. I keep moving. I'm going to sit down, lay down, and cry because nobody supports me. That's got my same blood running through me. Who gives a fuck? I'm going to move the needle with or without kinfolk, but I need family. And I appreciate y'all family coming in here tonight. Now we up to, looks like about 9, 10 people in the half space. Still ain't nobody saying shit. I'm wondering where everybody's at. Maybe everybody eating that second plate they got, you know. And I'm not sure exactly what they doing, but we've been on about 14 minutes. We've been on 14 minutes, and ain't nobody said nothing in the half space. I'm usually pretty good in the half space by now. Somebody done checked in. Got a lot of good people over in the half space. I like halves because they put us out to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, Instagram. I still don't know exactly how we get on Instagram, but it says we do. Okay, I get it. But, you know, as long as the message gets to the people that it needs to get to. I don't need this message to get to people that ain't going to use it. I need this message to get to people that it can work for. And I appreciate y'all being in there tonight and, you know, working that chat up in Information Man show. Good brother out there. Very, very good brother. So I'm not really understanding. Mass views for garbage content, unfortunately. Absolutely. Absolutely, Brother Brian. Brother Brian, I'm not sure exactly what the situation is, why people are so drawn to bullshit. They're drawn to bullshit, but then when there's something that's real, that's staring them right in the face, and I'm not saying that you got to listen to me. I'm not saying you even got to listen to somebody just like me or not like me, whatever. But listen to something that's going to move your needle. If it's not going to move your needle, do you really have time for it in this space? Like I said, I watch television, but I generally watch television 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and shit. Ain't shit else popping at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's usually DVR and shit. I'm not going to look for new stuff to watch. I'm looking for stuff that I recorded and I can get rid of. So, you know, but I appreciate you coming into the chat, Jasmine, coming into the chat, Stand Up, coming into the chat, Pretoria. Your subscriptions and your shares will send us further because more people will continue to hear this message and messages that you share versus all of the other garbage. And we can get all that other garbage suppressed because you can only share up to a certain amount of stuff. You only got time to share. So if you're sharing more of the real shit and sharing less of, then it just goes away. You ain't got to talk it down. You ain't got to shoot it down. Just stop sharing it. That's why I tell people, Stop watching it. If it's not helping you, stop doing it. You know, I mean, that's just pretty much the way to repair shit. And when we talk about repair, we talk about reparations. And if I'm going to talk about reparations, I have to start at the root of it, which is repair. Everybody just wants to jump to the check. No, let's not jump to the check, because that's the easy part. There's 40 million black Americans, right? 40 million black Americans. 34 of them voted for Joe Biden. 34 million of them voted for Joe Biden. Okay? For whatever reason, they did. I did not. I down balloted. I did not vote for the top ticket this past year. You know, and it made sense for me to do so at the time. If you took $40 million and gave it to every native black American, 40 million, and this is voters, and gave it to every native black American, and then you opened up America's pipeline to lending, to housing, to business loans, to education, we would indeed be repaired as a people. That could be simple. Open up the channels. And there comes a lot of policy. There's a lot of different things. See, I'm trying to be concise. I'm not trying to take a whole lot of time into what we need in education and what we need in housing and what we need in lending and what we need in health care. No. Let's just say you gave every single native black American $1 million. And then you opened up the pipeline, as I'm saying, which with policy and legislation, to where we don't get equality, because everybody got equality now. We get advantage. See, I don't want equal rights. I want advantageous rights. I want the same rights that white people had. I want the same rights, hell, now that illegals have. Illegals are coming over here, are washing up on the shores of America, and they are getting more resources than native black Americans. So don't give me equality. I don't want to be broke like most of America. I want to be in an advantageous state. Like that 1% they always talk about. You ever notice that 1%? There's the top 1%, the top 1%. Well, goddamn, if we got a top 1%, that means we got a bottom 99%. We need to change that shit. And that only comes with repair. That only comes with repair. That comes with the extinguishing of white supremacy. Why can't everybody be supreme? I realize there's going to be some impoverished people. There's going to be some poor people. There's going to be some desolate people. I get that. But it shouldn't be black Americans, not the people that built this fucking country, the people that have lost the most on this soil. Nobody in this country has lost more than native black Americans. Nobody. We are bottom feeders as a collective in this country, and that has happened systemically. We just didn't give up and stop working. That's what they want to make motherfuckers think when they come over to this country. Oh, we're just lazy. Oh, they don't like to do this, and they don't like to do that. But I'm not going to deny that there's a faction of people that fucking absolutely, they deserve the crumbs that they get. But the main faction of native black Americans, of freedmen in this country, are getting it, are doing everything they can to not only tread water, but to make hay out here. See, anybody can tread water. Anybody can hold a job and be impoverished and have past due notices and shut off notices every week. But that's the life of the average native black American. It is not the life of the average native white American. It's not. So I'm saying let's fix that shit. And the only way you fix that is with reparations, with repair for the descendants of freedmen, who are the descendants of enslaved people. I'm looking for repair. I'm not looking for anything that's not owed to me and my people. I will never look for anything that is owed to somebody else. And that's when I have a problem with Pan-Africanists. Pan-Africanists, they think everybody black should get reparations. No. If you didn't get over to this motherfucker till 1991, you do not deserve reparations for slavery. If you came over here with the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship to go to college, okay, you got your reparations. You got the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship, and you're probably in a pretty decent job now. Most Africans that come over here and go to school, they end up gainfully employed. Now, what if they had not come over here and got that Thurgood Marshall Scholarship? Okay. See, we don't need to talk about that. When you wash up on these shores, you are not above me. I'm not telling you that you're beneath me, but goddamn it, if you be above me. But see, that's what the system of America has done. It's made immigrants their own special class. They are a protected class, like Native Americans, like Jewish Americans, like Asian Americans. What about Black Americans? How come we're not a protected class? Because nobody's lobbied for that. See, all those other collectives of people, they've lobbied for that. The Asian Americans got $50 million and got a anti-hate crime bill. The $50 million wasn't for anti-hate crime. The $50 million was for domestic abuse, was for survivors of sexual assault. How many people do you know that's ever been convicted of sexually assaulting an Asian woman? If an Asian woman generally gets sexually assaulted, it's by an Asian man. So y'all funding that shit? Domestic violence? Asian women, they do marry outside of their faction at a high rate. But for the most part, they marry Asian men. So who are they abused by in the home? Asian men. So y'all giving them motherfucking money to go to rehabs and shit? $50 million? $50 million. Now, I just said you can do 40 million. You can do 40 million for Black Americans, reparations. And that's for the repair of the detriment that you've caused us for over 400 years. Not just for domestic violence. Because if we want to start talking about domestic violence and sexual abuse, we can go all the way back to slavery. What female slave wasn't sexually abused? What female slave wasn't sexually abused? So if you want to start tallying up them numbers, you owe us a tad bit more than $50 million. Maybe 50 billion. Maybe 50 billion. 246 years of brutalization and rape of our Black women? Yeah, I think we owe more than $50 million. You stole the ability for us to be solvent. You freed us, but to what? To what? What you free us to? What did we get when you let us go? We got nothing. We walked down the road right into sharecropping, where y'all still owed the land, we still worked the land, and still got nothing for it. I mean, just enough to survive, just enough to eat crumbs off of. Because when we wanted to go build our own shit, you gave us seeds that wouldn't grow. You gave us wood that had termites in it. You gave us soil that wouldn't allow things to grow in it. It was all plotted out. So what would we have to do in the end? We'd have to come right back to the white man and work for him. Then when we got a little bit further down the road and we were able to get into some pockets around the country and start building up and building up and building up, what did you do? You came through and burned us. You came through and brutalized us. You came through and raped us and killed us out of our own neighborhoods. And then when we started to get back in flux again and get that shit back together, you said, you know what? We need to build some goddamn freeways. But we're not going to build them over there. We're going to build them right through every major city where a Black community is in this country. This ain't shit that people are hearing for the first time. I say the same shit over and over just to hammer the points home. This is why white supremacy is what it is. You trying to tell me that they couldn't have built them freeways just on the other side of the Black community? Why'd they have to drive it right through the Black community? They didn't even give us the construction jobs to build the freeways. They just burned us out and we were nothing. Once again, nothing. As long as we're nothing to white people but a vote, We have no leverage in this country. We have no leverage. In 1921, when there was 1 million black farmers, 1 million black farmers. Let me tell you something. If you had 1 million black farmers today, and we're just talking standard agriculture, with what you can grow and the way you can grow things today, 1 million black farmers, we'd have our own agricultural schools. We'd have our own botanist schools, horticultural schools. Anything that you can grow, we would have an educational facility on. But instead, we don't. And one of the best agricultural schools in the country is right up the road at Michigan State University. Now, you probably know Michigan State University more as a basketball school or more as a football school. You didn't know that they grooming farmers about that bitch. And I don't ever see none of the football players and none of the basketball players majoring in agriculture. Most of them are majoring in physical education. So if I don't make it in the pros, I can always be a gym teacher. The fuck? And ain't nothing wrong with gym teachers. If you're going to give them a full-time job and give them some access into the educational infrastructure where he's going to be able to take care of his family, send his kids to the same school system that he works in. There's a lot of teachers that work in a school system and they can't even send their kids to the same school system that they work in. Think about that. Think about a black school teacher that can't send their kids to the same schools that they teach at because they don't live in that area. You know, the district that they live in is more affordable than the district that they teach in. How can that be? And how can we be okay with it? These systems of white supremacy are never going to go away until we get right politically. I mean, that's just what it is. It starts there. That's who runs shit. As badly as they do, that's who runs shit. Appreciate you, Sister Jasmine. Sister June. Oh, of course. I mean, once they run us out and them houses are empty and we've been gentrified and white folks move in, they need areas for their kids to go. They need parks. You know what I'm saying? They need parks for their kids to play in. You know, that's why sometimes I be seeing some of these neighborhoods, and I never condemn the people that are out there trying to make good. Okay? Some of y'all knew, so this disclaimer is for y'all. Y'all never gonna see me shit on somebody that is trying to do the right thing in their community. But if you are living in a community that has been gentrified and where it used to be 80% black, it might now be 40% black, 50% black. You've got a lot of new faces in there and they don't look like you. Y'all went from lowriders and big rims to Teslas and Priuses. Yeah, I understand it. But here's the thing. When y'all out there doing these goddamn community cleanups and shit, cleaning up the parks, cleaning up the streets in your neighborhood, cleaning up the schoolyards, getting the tumbleweeds off the basketball courts, off the tennis courts, off the tetherball courts, off the kickball fields. When you're out there doing that shit, how come y'all don't be having y'all new neighbors come out there? Y'all new neighbors is white now, right? Y'all new neighbors gentrified your neighborhood, right? They moved into the neighborhood, and they didn't move into your neighborhood because they wanted to be around a whole lot of black people. They moved into your neighborhood because the house was affordable. Understand the game. Because they're going to make that motherfucker bubble in about 5 to 10 years, and they're going to flip it, sell it for more money, and they're going to end up in the neighborhood that they really want to be in. But I digress. Let's go backwards. When y'all be doing this goddamn community cleanup and doing all this shit, where you cleaning up the parks and you cleaning up the schoolyards and you cleaning up the play spaces for these people for the kids to come out and play at, how come y'all don't go knock on y'all new white neighbors' doors and shit and say, hey, get your ass on out here. We cleaning this shit up to make it safe for the community. And your kids gonna be out here riding their bikes, riding their rollerblades, riding their hoverboards, riding their scooters. They're gonna be out here taking advantage of all this shit. So we need y'all to be a part of the community. Not just in residence alone. Get your ass out here. And if they don't want to get the fuck out there, then get them out the fucking neighborhood. You can make it uncomfortable for motherfuckers not to live in your fucking neighborhood. And I'm not telling you to terrorize nobody. I'm not telling you to brutalize nobody. I'm not telling you to run up on their property, be knocking on their doors, throwing shit through their window like they used to do to us. But I am telling you, look, if a motherfucker wants to live on an island, go let him live on an island. But your neighborhood ain't an island. Your neighborhood ain't an island. It might be Gilligan's Island because y'all motherfuckers are stranded. You can't leave. And if you can't leave, at least you make hay. Look at what they did on Gilligan's Island. That was just an island. Look at all the shit. Look how long they stayed on Gilligan's Island. They made all kinds of shit up. Y'all need to be doing it in your own community. Stop letting people come in your community, take over residence-wise, but they don't fucking contribute to what y'all doing as natives. Brother Ted. Sister Tanya, I appreciate you coming on over to the Hap Space. You everywhere tonight. You was up there on YouTube on the Information Man show. Appreciate the contributions already. I have not been checking over here to the green spot. I'm going to call y'all the green spot tonight. Haps ain't got no green screen capability, so it's just green in the background. And if you come over to the YouTube space or the Facebook space, you can see, me with my nice Freedman background. But other than that, don't worry about it. It's all good. I think I sound the same. And unfortunately, I look the same. So, it is what it is. But I appreciate you. We got to be able to call white supremacy out at all times. And we've got to start developing strategies to turn white supremacy around. And the only way we do that is politically. We're not going to get rid and see, we're not talking about just flooding the houses of the houses of justice or halls of justice with black politicians. We are talking about filling the halls of justice with politicians that are going to advocate for us. And if they advocate for us, then we can fuck with them. I don't give a fuck if you're taupe. You can be mauve, you can be turquoise. Turquoise, as my granddaughter would say, turquoise. You can be turquoise. But as long as you advocating for freedmen, I'll fuck with you. See, here's the thing that I know about politics. If you get somebody out there that's advocating solely for freedmen, they're advocating for America. See, it's flipped around where people think because people are advocating for minorities or people are advocating for people of color, they're advocating for freedmen. No. Just because you advocating for black immigrants don't mean you advocating for native black Americans. You can be advocating for DACA. They're people of color. They're minorities. But they're not black people. Until it comes time to get them motherfucking resources. I done seen a couple of Latinos. Oh, yeah. They'll come get them black resources and take them right back over to that side and check the box white when it asks them what they are. Yeah. Hopefully some more people from the Hap Space get in here. Sunday Night Smoke, Tony D. The family been in here. Brother Ted. See, Brother Ted, I know you a movie buff. You be catching me with my movie lines and shit when I be dropping them in the cast. A lot of people don't catch them. They're not quick enough to do that. But I'm a movie buff for real. I'm a movie buff for real, especially black movies. Especially black movies. So, but I appreciate you for being here, for the people being here, because you're catching something, that's organic. You're catching something that's natural. And I can't change it. And I know that that's why I can't grow as fast as a lot of people. I won't do a lot of that sensationalizing shit. You know, a lot of motherfuckers, they fell in love with Kwame Brown, and now they falling out of love with Kwame Brown. Why? Why? Because Kwame's saying the same shit over and over and over again. And they don't like that. They want Kwame to have a new beef. They want Kwame to run somebody else through the mud. They want Kwame to talk down about this person and that person. But see, it didn't start with that. Kwame Brown been doing fucking videos for years. It wasn't until his name got ran in the mud and it got global and he got wind of it and he said, to hell with this shit. A lot of people are tired of Kwame Brown now because all he's doing is finding that new motherfucker who is suspect, who is not on his shit, who is not a real motherfucker. I love his phrase. See, a lot of people think that the phrase I'm about to say is this phrase. No, I love mama's cooking. I'll get mama's cooking. That's straight. That's good. I love it. I use it sometimes. Mama's cooking. I get it. But the real motherfucking phrase that I like Kwame Brown says, you think you a hell of a motherfucker. You think you a hell of a nigga. I love that shit. Because that's the problem out here. All these motherfuckers think they a hell of a motherfucker out here. And they are in this YouTube space, in this HAP space, in the Facebook space, in the Twitter space, in the Instagram space. There's a lot of hell of a motherfuckers out here. There's a lot of hell of a niggas out here. But when it comes to putting the rubber to the road, there's very few real motherfuckers out here. And Kwame Brown's been calling them out. See, we wouldn't even know Kwame's content the way we know it if somebody hadn't said his name wrong, hadn't called out family members. See, he been all right with motherfuckers talking shit about him all these years. But what they did was they brought his family into it. And once he brought his family into it, then his ears perked up. Then his tail stopped wagging. That motherfucker stood at attention. And then he came back at the people that talk shit to him. Now, motherfuckers that's talking shit about him now, they just clout chasing. That's all they're doing. They clout chasing because they know if they talk shit about him, there's a chance that Kwame might put him on the video. If Kwame puts him on the video, they can get a whole lot of views. And they get a whole lot of views, they can get a whole lot of subscribers. They get a whole lot of subscribers, they can get a super chat. What about what? What you talking about? You ain't talking about repair. You ain't talking about reparations. You ain't talking about nothing real in the field. You just talking about bullshit. Nothing that's going to move us one iota. But see, a motherfucker like me with 463 subscribers strong on YouTube, I can talk this shit all fucking day long. I can talk it all day long. Because there ain't nothing else out there for me. If I was doing it for the viewers, I'd have quit a long time ago. If I was doing it for the subscribers, I'd have quit a long time ago. If I was doing it because just to get money in the super chat, I'd have quit long time ago. I'm doing it because I got grandkids and I got more on the way and they got to have something when I leave up out this bitch. I've done my best, but I know whatever years I got left, it ain't going to be enough to give them a substantial life. So I got to do something out here substantial so they'll have something substantial. Sister Tanya, you all over. And I want to know, is it Tanya or Tanya? Because I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Because the way you spell it, some people say Tanya, and then there's other people that say Tanya. So I always like to make sure it's right. My name is Shannon. And motherfuckers call me Shane and Sean and all kinds of shit. I'm like, well, damn. How hard is Shannon? I think they do that shit out of fucking disrespect. I think I surprise motherfuckers. When you hear the motherfucking name Shannon McFall, you expecting a redheaded white girl to show up with freckles. And then here comes this big black motherfucker. Surprise. My name has gotten me into a lot of spaces. I ain't gonna lie. My name has gotten me into a lot of spaces just by having this name. You know, I was named after a blouse. Cousin had a blouse on, blouse by Shannon. They named it fucking Shannon. So I get it. Crazy thing was my father or grandfather, whoever his father was, his name was McFall. So now I got two Irish names, and I'm blacker than a motherfucker. But I had to go with that. I had to run with that. I made the best out of my brand. My brand is Irish. And I love green. Don't get me wrong. Green's green, you know. I smoke green, okay? I love green. Green is my favorite color. And I'm in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Well, I'm in Ipsy technically. And we maize and blue all day long here. But everybody know my favorite color is green. I know some of you motherfuckers expected me to say, oh, you like money. Nah. If I got to talk about green money, I ain't got none. God damn it. Tanya. Okay. See, that's what I need. And I have been saying Tanya because I saw it that way. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate you. Already allowed you to. Absolutely, Brother Hicks. Absolutely. Because the brother Sean Hill, who's one of my descendants of freedmen brothers I had met in the political space, he hit me to Haps. And once he hit me to Haps, I came over here and saw it and started fucking with it. And I said, you know what? This is a good space. It's sending people out into a lot of different areas and things like that. And I have to say, the only negative thing that I have to say about Haps right now is that it doesn't have green screen capabilities. Anything else about Haps, I fuck with. I fuck with. Because it's putting us in spaces that we wouldn't have normally got in out here. So I'm good with that. Absolutely. I love the Haps space. I do. But I'm always going to talk repair. And I believe that repair starts at home. And if anybody has a testimonial, and they want to come on, I can give you the StreamYard link, and you want to come on, you know, get in the chat, and I'll put the link up, you know, and I'll bring you on. I have no problem with that. Yes, Haps is, you know, I don't know if you have to be on for a certain period of time. I couldn't make them at first. You know, like my first 70, 80 days, I tried to make a post, general post, you know, copy and drop links in there. It wouldn't allow me to do it. So I figured I might be on a probationary status because they, you know, they didn't want you to be flooding it with spam and stuff. But now I can do general post. I can do text posts. I can start putting in a little bit of that, you know. I think, it's because they're in beta mode. Yes, and I saw some stuff that just said, you know, they were trying to get it all together, but the fact that I can do it now, it could be maybe they're past beta mode, and or you know, they just allow a certain amount of people because a lot of people gonna come on, then they'll never get on again. I like how Haps keeps up with you when you come on each day. When you log in, you get the coins. That's calculating what type of traffic they have every day. So that's also a beautiful thing. You gain those Haps coins, you know, and I appreciate all the subscribers over on Haps and all the donators on Haps. Okay, I appreciate those. Drop those coins. You can't use them nowhere else. You can't. It ain't no cryptocurrency. Go ahead and drop them damn Haps coins if you got them available. Drop them over here. Drop them in other content creators stuff. And you know, we're not in it for the bread. If we was in it for the bread, we'd be doing all kinds of shit. But we're not in this for the bread. All right. But yeah, everybody that's chilling, you know, in this space, and they want to be content creators. I say get out here and just do it. I went backwards. I told Information Man tonight. I started doing videos back, you know, 16, 17, real heavy, and did a YouTube channel. And this channel dates back, I believe, to that original channel. It's just changed names. I didn't have no subscribers on it because I wasn't putting no content on it. I didn't start putting no real content on it till November, December. And so once I started doing that, but I did years of Facebook videos that should already be on YouTube or be in other spaces. You know, YouTube is the hub, I get it, but I should be in other spaces. But, you know, that was me. That was me actually kind of doubting myself. You know, I doubted what people really wanted to hear, even though I knew I was only going to talk one way. I doubted the way I was going to deliver it. And the way I'm going to deliver it is me. You know, I can't soften this fucking message up. We don't do well when things get softened up for us. You know, when people are nice to us, that's one thing I got to say about Native Black Americans. We perform better under pressure. Because when people get nice to us, we relax. This generation has totally relaxed on shit. And the older people that are still trying to move out here are having a tougher time. And then the people like myself, I guess the middle-aged people, having a really tough time. So we better start working with our grandkids. We got to start working with our grandkids and making sure that they come through the right way. And we got to get right politically. We got to get right politically. And if we don't get right politically, we got to take care of each other better. I don't think we have enough to sustain if we don't get things right politically. So it's hard for me to deviate from that thought process. But we got to start with taking care of each other better. If we are going to be nice to people more, then we need to be nice to each other. Native Black Americans are at war with one another. We're already fighting the war of white supremacy, but we're also fighting the war against ourselves, and that's an issue. I'm not on this black on black crime, no. I'm not on that shit. You ain't gonna ever hear me on that black on black crime shit. Because I understand the reason that we are killing each other at the clips that we're killing each other out here is because of the lack of resources and the lack of education and the lack of health care and the lack of mental health care, the lack of repair. That's why we're killing each other out here. We are a famished collective. And when you are starving, you go into hunt mode. And we are each other's prey. But Testimonial Sunday, it's got to be a little bit about y'all, and maybe y'all don't want to come on and be on the live, but give me a testimonial. I just came up with that off the dome, bro. I literally just came up with Famished Collective off the dome. That's the way I do most of my shit. And for that, a lot of people can't keep up with me with that too. I think really, really well on my feet. And I have to tell you, I think better on my feet in 2021 than I thought in 2011. In 2011, I was sitting at about 450 pounds. I ended up eclipsing 500 pounds, before 2013 hit when I got weight loss surgery. My thought process had slowed down so much. I was nowhere near the mental man that I am today, that I had been in previous years. I had got to a point and then I started to falter. And it wasn't like I got dumb. It wasn't like I got fat and dumb. I just started to slow down because there were so many other things that my body was in need of that it didn't allow me to think. I didn't write as much. I didn't do things, the way I had did them in years past. So I slowed down. I was in the midst of being a father of preteens. I had left one long relationship that ended up getting married. And by 2011, I was in a marriage that was going to eventually almost kill me. So you got to understand, 10 years ago was one of the worst periods of my life. 9 years ago was the worst period of my life. It was when I lost my daughters. It was when I lost them for several years to come. And it took us years to get back some of what we lost. We still haven't got it all back because we're not all on the same plane. Once we get all on the same plane, we'll get it back. But we ain't all on the same plane right now. And I ain't gonna get too deep into my family structure right now because, I'm kind of fucked up about it. But it is what it is. But that's the only way that we can be real out here is we got to have the right family structure. We got to have the right income structure. We got to have the right education structure. We got to be right with our health care. We got to be right with our mental health care. We have been damaged. Native Black Americans have PTSD from birth. You understand me? Native Black Americans have PTSD from birth. Post-traumatic slavery disorder. It's unfortunate that we have that, but it's real and we have it and we need to deal with that. Brother Dredd, I think I saw you over in the Information Man's show earlier when I was on there. I appreciate you coming in. First time checking in. I appreciate you. Salute, my brother. New family in here. It's new family. It's all it's about to me. Hopefully you subscribe to the Friedman Media YouTube channel, Brother Dread. Everybody that's in here, you've watched other telecasts. And I was on Kwame Brown for a second there. Kwame Brown, to me, will never get old. He may have a rise and then start to teeter off a little bit, but I think he's always going to stay on the spectrum because he's got some real shit to say. But what's the problem with Kwame's message right now is that people are not using it for what he's fucking telling them to do. He's telling people to use his videos, go make money off his videos, don't say nothing greasy, and he'll even shout your shit out. But people are using his videos when he goes in on people, and they want to use his videos for the sensationalism of it. They don't want to use his videos for the education part of it. And that's why I've lacked using his content. I watch it. Don't get me wrong. I've been watching. I watch damn near all of his shit. I can't even keep up with him because he leaves more fucking videos now than I do. But his shit is strong. And he just broke another YouTuber down a couple days ago, this Hassan Campbell. I was going to do a stream about it last night, but I got busy and got working and shit, and I fucking couldn't do it. But he just totally got rid of Hassan Campbell. Now, Hassan Campbell is going to still have a platform, but as far as I'm concerned, his credibility, he got rid of it. If you listen to Hassan Campbell now, you must be watching fucking cartoons. Because he took Hassan Campbell down to the lowest common denominator. So you got to understand what he did was he took him down to the lowest common denominator. Not denominator, the lowest common denominator. Hassan Campbell is big on the YouTube space. Huge on the social media space. You know, he's one of them brothers that likes to talk street, likes to talk about his street credibility and him going to jail and who he knows and this, that, and the other. And Kwame Brown broke all that shit down like, what's that matter? If you're not helping little black boys and little black girls get better. But then what Kwame Brown really broke him down was because he had talked greasy about Kwame Brown. And if you know anything about Kwame Brown, why the fuck would you still be doing that after you seen what happened to motherfuckers who talk greasy about him? You'd only still be doing that because you fucking clout chasing. You'd only still be doing that because you want Kwame to run your name so he can run your subscribers, so he can run your viewers, and you get some more super chat dollars. You niggas are something else. You're something else. I need to get on that. Brighteon. There's so much info. Okay. I jump on that. You know, I try to really stay with the content and building the content, Sister Tanya. So I lose out on a lot of those opportunities for other platforms for me to even put my own videos on. That's why I don't really need like a whole fucking media team. But what I need is I need people out here sharing my clips in other spaces. Get my shit out there in other spaces. Let me know. Hey, I'm trying to put you out in this space. I'll get into that space. I'll subscribe to that space. I'll sign up to that space. But I can't sign up to them all and link my videos to them all because I got other shit I got to do. And I got to help try to fucking put some food on the goddamn table. I'd love to just sit in front of this motherfucker all day and talk to y'all. But I am not independently wealthy. I am not financially fit. So therefore, I got to get out there and do something. But I appreciate everybody in this space. We're rolling up on an hour, you know, and I don't know if we're getting stronger, if we teetered off, if we're going down. I don't know what happened. When I hit 60 minutes, we'll see where the numbers are at. You know, we'll see where the numbers are at. Brother Information. You did your thing. You did your thing tonight, brother. I appreciate you. 3 hours long on the stream for Information Man. Y'all got to go back and check it out. Y'all got to go check that out. And make sure if you're in this space and you haven't subscribed to Information Man, you need to be subscribing to Information Man. But I think most of y'all have subscribed to him because, hey, I came to you through him and y'all came to me through him. So y'all probably already subscribed to him. Make sure you share that video from earlier tonight. That was 3 hours of nuggets. That was 3 hours of nuggets. We did some things on that. I love that. I love that brother said and did what he said he was going to do. So I'm going to invite you on. I'm going to get you on, blow your platform up. You know, you need to get more YouTube subs. You need to get more people watching your content. It's already giving me some ism on how to move forward, you know, with some logistics on my equipment and things like that. See, that's how we build each other up. He saw me in my car. He saw me in my car. That's how he saw me making videos. And I still make them in my car. But he didn't have to fuck with me, bro. Information Man got 10,000 subscribers on one of his YouTube channels. You don't need to fuck with somebody with now 463 subscribers. Probably 462 by the time I get off here. Everybody leave every now and then. I don't know how to do this shit. Why you join and then you leave? What are you doing here? I don't get it. So what I'm looking for right now is I'm looking for the consistency for us, not just watching my videos, not just watching Information Man's videos, but we've got to watch things that are going to control our narrative. Stop watching all the goofy shit. And like I said, Kwame Brown, he's never going to go away now because he's done what other people are scared to do. And people like keeping people like Kwame around. A lot of people don't like him, but there's a lot of people who do. He says what other people are scared to say. Information Man says what other people are scared to say. BTP say what other people are scared to say. There's a lot of content creators out here who are saying things that people are scared to say. And I would liken myself to be in that cast of intelligentsia. I'm saying what other people are scared to say. And if they're not scared, but they've got different things to protect out here to where they can't say those things outwardly in a social manner. They'll talk one way privately, but they'll have to be silent publicly. But you can be silent publicly as long as you're not talking against the collective in your silence. Don't be silent and be greasy against the collective. You sent some people to me, Information Man, and I appreciate you, brother. You sent some folks to me tonight. That's love. That's love. And where I'm at in this whole space, is collective uplift. If we all don't win, nobody wins. We can have individual victories, but if it's not good for the collective, it doesn't matter. And I know that they like to glean towards celebrity. People that have made hay in this country through entertaining you. You ever notice how a person like LeBron James is lifted? He was lifted in Cleveland. He was lifted in Miami. He's now lifted in Los Angeles. But why aren't great attorneys like Johnny Cochran lifted in the same light? Before the last 4 years of detrimental behavior in this country, I probably would have said Dr. Ben Carson was one of our greatest black heroes. But Ben showed me something when he became part of Donald Trump's administration. A neurosurgeon, if I'm not mistaken. He's a neurosurgeon, so he knows about the brain. He knows about the human body. You know, but neurosurgeon, he is a doctor, so he knows about the whole body, but what he specializes in is the brain. So they took a neurosurgeon, and they made him the top motherfucker of HUD. One of the top doctors in the country. They made the top motherfucker of HUD. Now, they could have made him the top motherfucker of medicine in the country. He's Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson, famed neurosurgeon Ben Carson, all around known professional, whatever in the medical field, Ben Carson. Why the fuck would you put him over in HUD? He don't know shit about housing, other than how to go look for one. And he probably don't even look for the houses no more. His wife looked for the houses, just like she looked for that $31,000 dinette set for his fucking office. Who the fuck needs a $31,000 dinette set in their goddamn office? $31,000? $31,000 for a dinette set. I look kind of crazy eating a two-piece meal on a motherfucking $31,000 dinette set. Give me a two-piece dark. Mashed potatoes with gravy. Gravy on the side, please. Break out the good shit, that $31,000 shit for my $5 meal. You fucking kidding me? Missy Barwakin. Welcome to the space. Hopefully you are subscribed, Missy. I appreciate you being here. I know you found me through the Information Man show. I can't thank him enough. So I'm not going to stop thanking him. You know, when people say, I can't thank you enough, that's usually the last time they thank you. You ever notice that? When a motherfucker says, I can't thank you enough, that's the last time they thank you. They don't thank you no more. They done. Just like when a motherfucker says no offense, he's about to offend you, goddammit. We know this. When a motherfucker says no offense before he says something, he's about to offend you. Or when he says some greasy shit, and right at the end of it, he says no offense. He knew that shit was offensive. That's why he's got to cover it with no offense. Shit. Stop fucking with me. Post-traumatic slavery disorder. See, we weren't enslaved. Okay? We as a people here, we weren't enslaved. We weren't around in 1865 or before. But we inherited then the inherent detriment of enslaved people. Yes, we are descendants of slavery. We are descendants of the institution of it. But we are the descendants of freedmen because that's who truly had us. Yes, we come from enslaved people. But our grandparents and great-grandparents were freedmen. So we are free people still left with nothing. Still left with people who died enslaved. See, a lot of our great-grandparents, they were born out of slavery. God bless the ones who were born into slavery and are still here. Well, they're not here now. Sorry. But they crossed that board. You know, the ones that lived in slavery and then lived out of slavery, what a difference the fucking world looked like to them. 31,000. 31,000. You hear me? Oh, fuck. Hey, man, I don't mean to pry. The motherfucker that says, I don't mean to pry, he's trying to get in your business like right now. He's softening up the blow. Hey, I'm not trying to be in your business. Okay. So if you're not trying to be in my business, you probably want to refrain from making that next step, that next statement that's about to get in my business. Hey, I know it's your life. You're going to live it the way you want to live it. Okay, stop right there. Stop right there. You just told me, you just confirmed with me that it's my life. And I'm going to live this motherfucker the way I'm going to live it. Why are you about to give me some advice that I'm not going to use? Stop it. Stop doing that. This is what repair is about, brother. We have been disenfranchised for over 26 generations. And that's using the long term. You got to understand. Slavery was 12 generations. Systemic oppression has been 7 generations. But if we want to talk about before, I only go with the documentation of 1619 on. But if we want to talk about before, I know there's talk of 1526 and 1492, and then a little bit before that. So we've been marginalized in this territory for hundreds of years. We've been disenfranchised on this territory for hundreds of years. Systemically. Not because we didn't want to get together, work together, be together. The most dangerous thing in American society is the United Negro. If them niggas get together, we in trouble. That's what J. Edgar Hoover was basically saying. If y'all let these niggas get themselves aligned, America is fucked up. That's what he meant by that. Whatever they say they're not going to do, that's what they're going to say or do. So you must be speaking about politicians. Politicians, they run a campaign and they run on certain agendas. And generally what they say they're going to do, they don't usually do for the mass collective. But they hit on a couple certain points to get the vote. And then they advocate for those people that have true political power. Just because we vote strong one way or another doesn't mean we have true political power. It's what happens after those people get elected and who can push the buttons of those politicians to get bills passed, legislation passed, all that shit. That's who has true political power. If we don't make politicians do what they say they're going to do, it doesn't matter who we vote in. We've got to vote with one thing in mind: solvency, self-sufficiency. If we vote with, oh, they're going to give us some affordable housing, or they're going to do some aid, or they're going to do some crutches, canes, wheelchairs, Band-Aids for bullet wounds. America's great at that. America gives us Band-Aids for bullet wounds all the time. George Floyd was a bullet wound. They gave us George Floyd police crime bill, which still hasn't passed. But we do have park benches. We do got statues of a man that was killed in the street by a cop. Why does that man deserve a statue? And why you got him sitting on a park bench? Who on this fucking planet ever saw George Floyd sit on a park bench? And if he was sitting on a park bench, why didn't you have him sitting there with his kids? They said George had 5 kids. Why didn't you have his kids around him? You couldn't find a family photo and do a statue with his kids around him? And think about all those orphaned kids. Because those are kids without a daddy now, because he was killed by a bigoted police officer. You put him on a park bench. You put him on a park bench in the shit that he was killed in. George had a beater on when he was killed. They put him on that park bench in a motherfucking beater. You fucking serious? You put a dead black man. He was known to wear baseball hats. George Floyd always wore a lot of baseball hats. They didn't have a baseball hat on him. He's sitting on a park bench, sun in his eyes, no sunglasses on. He just got the beater on and a symbolic, of whatever the trousers or sweatpants or whatever he had on when they killed him. If you're going to make that statue accurate, why do you make the statue of George laying down on the pavement with a knee on his neck? Because that's the way America knows George Floyd. We didn't know George Floyd to be sitting on no goddamn park bench. We knew George Floyd being accosted by the Minnesota Police Department and the #1 race soldier on the scene, Derek Chauvin. He took over the crime scene. Now they talking about he wasn't even supposed to work that day. It was his day off. He came in. Man, I wish you'd have took that motherfucking day off, Derek. I really do. Because much as I like seeing your ass behind bars, I would have much rather seen George Floyd still living. I don't give a fuck that he came in. That don't show me that he's, what's Kwame say? He ain't no hell of a motherfucker. He ain't no hell of a motherfucker because he came into work. He killed somebody. On the day he was supposed to be off work, he came in and killed somebody. What kind of trade-off is that? He's an excellent employee, dedicated to the force. On his day off that he came in, he killed somebody. Shit. Like he waiting for the fucking bus. Brother, when they found George Floyd, he was in his car. Why is he sitting on a park bench waiting for the goddamn bus? George died with a motherfucking Mercedes. He had an old Mercedes truck. So why the fuck do they got George sitting on the goddamn bench waiting for the bus? I'm not understanding that. When did anybody ever see George Floyd in a beater at the bus stop? I want to know. I got a couple of chat rooms popping, and I ain't half paying attention to one. Missy, I get it. United States Corporation, absolutely. It's a corrupt institution, and that's why it has to be changed. And the way you change it is the same way you fucked it up, systemically. The only way you change a system around is bring in a new system. And this system needs to be redone. And I get when people try to say defund the police and this, that, and the other. No, you can't take all the goddamn money away from police agencies. Then we'll just have slave patrols again. No, the police need to keep money flowing through. I get it. You need money to do your thing. Now, what we need to do is with some of those resources, we need to dedicate certain education for police officers. I don't believe that you should have to go to school to do nails, hair, or anything like that longer than you go to a police academy. They turn out police quicker than they turn out barbers. That's a problem. And most barbers that go to barber school nowadays, they already know how to cut hair. Most hairstylists that go to hair schools, they already know how to do hair. Most nail technicians that go to cosmetology school already know how to do nails, but you make them go to school longer than you make a motherfucking police officer go. Most motherfuckers go to police academy ain't never shot a goddamn gun. But then you put them out there in 6 months and they out there by themselves, rolling up on crime scenes, rolling up on kids in the park, shooting them dead less than 3 seconds on the scene. They're out there killing brothers that don't want to go back to jail because of child support, so they shoot him in the back because he ran away. This motherfucker owed money for child support and ended up dead. He hadn't killed nobody. He hadn't hurt nobody. He hadn't robbed nobody. He didn't want to go back to jail because of child support, so he was shot in the back. Well, he didn't go back to jail, so he got his wish. He got his fucking wish. He didn't go back to jail. But unfortunately, he had to have a funeral. He had to have his fucking funeral because he didn't want to go back to jail. Sorry, y'all. I might say some shit every now and then. You might, you might chuckle a little bit. I ain't making fun of nothing, but, that's just kind of my personality where I'm at. I get up a good one every now and then. People end up laughing at it. So, not enough to be like a stand-up comedian and shit. Many of these police recruits who are probably bullied in school. Oh, my God. We don't even want to talk about the motherfucker. Bullied with a badge. Bullied with a badge. Shit. There's so many goddamn cops out here who were bullied in high school, bullied in junior high school, bullied in elementary school, bullied in preschool, bullied in their own house. And they out here with badges and guns and nightsticks and tasers, mag lights, got a $100,000 vehicle they drive around, they can just bump people off. You seen how these police people are hitting people, just hitting them in the street and killing them now? They're not even worrying about tasing them and shooting them. There's been 2 cops that have killed 2 different people in the last couple of months just hitting them with their police car. Just hitting them with the car, killing them. Oh, yeah, they was black. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. I forgot to mention that vital stat. They were black. They were black. So where I concern myself with getting deep in this space is I want us to be better with each other. I want us to be better politically. I want us to be better. We've got to be politically minded. If we are not, if we think that we can just get through just by being do-for-selfers, ain't nothing wrong with buying black-owned products. But unfortunately, we don't own enough black-owned businesses to just be exclusive to one another. So what we need to do is we absolutely need to support black businesses. But we need to work politically so we can get repair. So that black business that we're supporting, we can help them manufacture their product in a mass production state. Take them out the house. Take them out the garage. Take them out that office space that they really can't afford, but they can't be in the house or the garage. And let's start manufacturing our own products. Why we got get a patent, this, that, and the other, and have it mass produced over in Asia? Why we got to do that? Why we got to do that? We can make the product right here. We think of the product and develop the product. But then we want to get it mass produced. We got to send it over to Asia. That's a little ass backwards, ain't it? Because don't you know once it gets over to Asia, they're going to make a knockoff of the motherfucker. They're going to make 10 times more money than you do, nigga. Why would you give your idea away? Because essentially, once it gets over there, they can do whatever they want to with it. Of course, they're going to stand by the mass production agreement to build your product, send you back 1 million of them, but they're going to make 10 million of them over there. Your idea, they product. OG Classic Jones, what's going on, brother? Got to get rid of them armchair revolutionaries, reactionaries, aka paper tigers, and what's the jackknives? You bad as I am with these names and shit. I let them go ahead. Police car now, if I am crossing the street, absolutely. Yeah, they will hit you. Pretoria Afro, go ahead and step out off that motherfucking curb. They'll act like they didn't see you. You know what they're covered by? Qualified immunity. He was coming at the car with a gun. He had a knife in his hand. Oh, he didn't have anything. Oh, but he's dead. I feared for my life. Qualified immunity, covered. We can mass produce right here. You goddamn right we can mass produce right here, but we got to get the facilities, brother. And to get the facilities, we got to have the revenue. To get the revenue, we got to have repair. To get repair, we got to have reparations. It's the same motherfucking shit. I'm going to have the same discussion till I'm blue in the face. And when I'm blue in the face, I'm going to be up out this bitch. And I guess it won't much matter then. We can absolutely mass produce here. I don't know if you caught the show earlier, brother. We was talking about Master P. And I've talked about this before. You've chimed in on this, OG. OG, Master P is a beautiful brander. He brands the shit out of a product. But unfortunately, Master P don't mass produce his product. Some company somewhere else mass produces Master P's product. So if Master P mass produced, we'd have mass profits. Now y'all can steal that one, okay? And I got 463 subscribers on YouTube. So I'm gonna give it to you again. If somebody's fast enough, put it in the chat. If Master P mass produced, we'd have mass profits. That's what I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you that one. That one's free, y'all. That's not gonna cost you no super chat money. That's not even gonna cost you no Haps coins money. Peggy Royster, another information man plant. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming over. Information man ran us 3 hours and y'all fucking with me an hour later and an hour and 21 deep. This is love. This is love. That's where those 501c3s come in. I got you. I got you. But here's the thing with the 501c3s. They're nonprofits. And who's the biggest nonprofit in this country? Churches. You know, churches could get manufacturing plants with their 501c3s and mass produce products. But they choose not to. That money don't go to no motherfucking plant. It don't go to no plant. That money goes to the pastor. And because 501c3s are forbade against speaking politically, you're not going to see no pastors really talk full-throated on the political end. I just learned this, OG. You do understand this is why pastors don't get political, because they can't speak with a 501c3 either way on political stances. They have to speak against it. You can speak politically if you've got a 501c4, though. You can speak politically there. That's why I said if Master P would take Master P's noodles and cereal and all the shit that Master P makes, all his products, and made them out of, and again, let's take up one of these old GM, Chrysler, or Ford plants, gut it, government paid, gut that motherfucker, and build Master P's products right in there and put plants all over this country. If Master P is going to be the only one to step up and mass produce products, why send that shit over there to Asia and let them mass produce it? Why not do it right here? We can mass produce our own shit. I appreciate you, Peggy, for the subscription. And as I said, I don't look at it as a subscriber, as a follower. I look at it as family. If you in here and you done subscribed and you be checking out the content, you be sharing the content, taking part in these chat rooms, hey, you family. For the rest of the motherfuckers who just stay on the sidelines and don't say shit and want to try to have a critical voice about me, eat a dick. I already told you. I talk like this because I can. Why do you talk like that? Don't worry about why I talk like this. I'm worried about why you talk like that. Fucking clowns. Motherfuckers quick to condemn. Don't hate, congratulate. Help me. Help me get better. I'll help you get better. I don't know why I'm talking, because them motherfuckers ain't watching. They know they watching something else. They might be, maybe they're watching the NBA finals. They might be watching the NBA finals, you know. I think right now, Black America is in trouble. Let me explain something to you. Black America is in trouble because of this new online gambling situation. Being able to cast bets right from your smartphone, right from your computer, I think it's a bad look for Black Americans. I mean, you've got people hooking their gambling card up to the same card that their paycheck is dropped onto. You know, because nobody's giving out paychecks anymore. You know, nobody goes to the bank. Everybody gets their shit direct deposited. And the same account that money is dropped in to where people get paid from their labor, it's also the same account that they got FanDuel and Sports Duel and this duel and that duel all linked into. All built to take money away from you. Yes, I know people win every now and then. I get it. But I know very few people who win more than they lose. I know very few. And I think right now we are in trouble. I believe we are in trouble because I believe there are too many brothers and sisters out here betting on their futures. They're betting on their futures. What are their futures? Our futures, for the most part, a lot of times are our children. You know, if we have a substantive job that's going to allow us to run the gamut and then retire from it, that's our future, because that's what our retirement goes into. I see people just gambling away their 401ks. They're going to gamble away their 401ks, their Roth IRAs. Their kids aren't going to go to school. They're not going to have any retirement, and they're not going to have anything when they get kicked out of the plant or wherever they work. Because there's going to come a time where they're going to say, you know what, you can't come back here anymore. You've got to retire. Go get your pension. Go get your Social Security. You got to leave now. And when you leave, what are you going to have left? What are you going to have? If you gambled it all away for the last 20 years, you know, you cost your kids their education. They couldn't go to school because you gambled all that away. You know, you lost your house. Now you and your wife are living in an apartment. Maybe your wife left you because you gambled everything away and she couldn't stay with you no more. She was like, look, I tried to stick it through. We raised the kids and you fucked up their education and I stayed. And then you lost our house and lost our cars and eventually pushed out of your job. And now we're living on a fixed income. She didn't work most of the time. You were working because you were the breadwinner doing your thing. So when she did have to go back to school and get a job, she's making less money because now she's a senior citizen working in the job she probably should have worked in the first place for the first 40 years of her life. OG Jones, I'm not even sure what you have an answer to, but drop it. Drop that shit. It's true. You were taught the same thing, OG. I know your mama. You know my mama. Don't get no girl pregnant. Don't go to jail. And don't be fucking up at that school. That was pretty much it for a black man. Young black man growing up. Don't get no girl pregnant. Don't do shit to go to jail. And I don't want to hear shit from that school. I didn't learn how to balance a checkbook until I was an adult. My first checkbook that I balanced was my business checkbook. I got my business account late 1991. And I learned how to balance a checkbook with that. I wasn't very good at it, but I learned. Whatever was always in my right pocket was always how I balanced shit. It's not a good habit to pick up, Sister Tanya. It's not a good, and now it's not any fun. See, I used to bet, but I didn't bet like big. I would bet like sports cards and stuff like that. I spent $5, $10 a week on college football games. And I was betting winners and losers or betting like against the spread or for the spread. Okay, no big deal. $5, $10 a week, try to win $50 a week. You know, if I bet $20 a week, I was trying to win $100 a week. Just a couple more cards. Some of these guys don't even bet the wins and losses anymore. They bet who's going to win the jump ball, who's going to have the first missed free throw, who's wearing green socks. They're betting on shit that you really can't fucking control. Who scores the first this? Who scores the first that? Who gets the first rebound? Shit that does not determine the outcome of the game. But they'll bet all through the game. They might have $100 worth of bets before fucking halftime. And the score hasn't been completed. That's dumb to me. And all those dumb bets are going to be what makes people lose out. Stay out the streets. Stay out the streets. Because we was right there. We were on the curb, we were on the grass, and the streets were right there. And all you had to do was just walk out and get in there, and then you'd get swept up by something. Wherever you were in this country, you'd get swept up into it. Gang activity, drug activity, this, that, and the other. You'd get swept up in. So the reason that our mamas and our daddies wanted us to stay out into the streets, because they couldn't control shit for you once you got out in them streets. One of the best episodes ever was when James went up against the gang. When he went up against Mad Dog and the gang and shit, and JJ got shot, that was one of the best scenes in TV history. A black father sticking up for his son who had been recruited to be in a gang. That was one of the most beautiful things ever. James was supposed to take that bullet. And if it was near the time that they wanted to kick James off the show, they probably would have put that bullet in John Amos. But instead, they put it in JJ. They put it in the star of the show, and they ran with that narrative. So JJ got hit with the bullet. It was a flesh wound. He came home the next day, da-da-dee, da-da-da. And he was the hero. James bowed down to Junior. Remember that? He said, Junior, you took that bullet from me. When James was the hero, he was the black father who stood up for his black son. But they made JJ the hero because he caught the bullet. Just like they making George Floyd the hero because he caught Derek Chauvin's knee to his neck. George Floyd ain't no goddamn hero. He was a black man who was killed in the middle of the street in Minneapolis. That's not a hero. I don't need to salute George Floyd for being killed. George Floyd what did Nancy Pelosi say? Sacrificed his life. What? George Floyd, if I'm not mistaken, was trying to get a pack of cigarettes with an alleged fake $20 bill that I still have not seen. With a fake $20 bill that I still have not seen. George Floyd wasn't trying to fight for social justice. And I'm not saying that he wasn't for it, but George Floyd was trying to get a pack of cigarettes. First they said it was a sandwich, then I think it went to a pack of cigarettes with an allegedly fake $20 bill that I still haven't seen. He ain't no goddamn hero. He's not a hero. And he shouldn't be looked at as such. He's another black man who was unjustifiably killed by race soldiers with a badge. Shit. Stop saying that Dr. King died for us. Dr. King didn't die for us. He died for y'all. He died. He lived for us. Dr. King lived for us. He died for them. Them racist folk. White supremacists. Told you all this shit can come right back to white supremacy. Malcolm X? Yeah, I know. It was black shooters. It was black shooters. And those black shooters were all fucked up in the law somehow. Elijah Muhammad didn't send them over there. Louis Farrakhan didn't send them over there. And the people that were supposed to protect Malcolm X that night had been untimely detained before he spoke that night. The very people who would have had guns, who would have shot them motherfuckers before they shot Malcolm, they're in jail tonight. Oh, wow. What a coincidence. What a coinky-dink. He's a dick. Telling you, Sister Tanny, that was one of the most powerful scenes. And even though it was a comedy show, it was a black father sticking up for his black son. And his black son took the bullet. But J.J. Mighty got killed that night. If the warlords had went and met with, who was it? I forgot who they was against. Because they did it like the Gangster Disciples and the Vice Lords, but they changed the names for TV. I forgot. It was the Warlords and somebody else. Yeah. Absolutely. They blamed the Nation of Islam because that was the best, that was the easiest hit then. It was the Nation of Islam. Come on, man. And that narrative has been played for years. If a black leader got killed in the 60s, compromised in the 60s, imprisoned in the 60s, it wasn't because of anything other than the racist government. J. Edgar Hoover, I mean, that was who was on his wall. That was who was on J. Edgar Hoover's wall. He had to get rid of black unity. And in 1963, when Martin Luther King had his dream, we've talked about this before. When he had his dream, he was talking to Negroes. Because he had a dream. He had a dream. Only Negroes was listening in 63. Well, Bernie Sanders was listening to, he said he marched with him, but, even though they figured that guy with the horn-rimmed glasses wasn't him. The guy with the horn-rimmed glasses, it could have been Buddy Holly. But for years, everybody said that was Bernie Sanders. Now it's been confirmed that was indeed not Bernie Sanders. I still want to see when Bernie Sanders marched with Dr. King. Show me some pictures, Bernie. You say you marched with Dr. King, show me some pictures. Now that we know that wasn't you in that picture with them horn-rimmed glasses, we confirmed it wasn't you and it wasn't Buddy Holly. So show me, goddammit, that when you marched with Dr. King. Martin said, I entered my people into a burning house. And when he said that shit, it was like this for J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover was looking down. When Martin Luther King said, I've entered my people into a burning house, that's when they knew they had to get rid of Martin Luther King. Because at that point, not only were black people listening to him, a lot of people left him. When Martin started talking about solvency, when he started talking about repair, when he started talking about reparations, when he started talking about coming to get the check, a lot of black people left Martin. Real shit. A lot of black people left him. A lot of black people left him. They were scared. Martin was he was violent. Even though he wasn't, he was still nonviolent. But he was becoming militant. He was becoming militant. He was like, you know what? We done did every goddamn thing out here. Now, fuck it. And he knew there was power in numbers. So yes, he was talking to black people still with specificity. Absolutely. But white people started to listen. And when he started talking about the Poor People's Campaign, he wasn't just going to bring black people to Washington. He was going to bring poor white people to the Capitol steps. And they knew this. They knew the jig was up. Like, look, if this shit happens and him trying to pull the country together, Martin would have been able to pull the country together faster than any goddamn president would have. And they knew this. He got to go. We got to get him up out the paint. Well, do we shoot him at the march? Nah, that'll be too late. He'll already have galvanized those people. Let's get him now. What's his next 10 days? His next 30 days? And they figured out. They'd get him a little circumspect ass Memphis. Come on, man. That was Memphis, right? That's where he got killed. Martin's all over the goddamn country. But they killed him where they could make the easiest getaway. Surrounded by black folks cleaning a hotel. I believe the Lorraine Hotel was a black hotel. He's surrounded by black folks and got killed. Okay. I get why we were staying in a black hotel. I get it. Support black businesses. But why at that time hadn't Martin been like, yeah, we're going to set up at Hotel Lorraine Motel, but we're going to send Martin down the street. We ain't going to have him stay here. He was a sitting duck. And I think he stayed there. I'm not sure, but I think he stayed there multiple days, if I'm not mistaken. Had stayed there, or they were planning to. They knew he was setting up camp. But yeah, man, I'm about to be on the air tonight, 5 hours. Still an hour short of what I used to pull. I used to pull a 6-hour air shift back in the day. I could do 6 hours standing on my head back in the day. I didn't talk as much because I was playing records all in between this shit. But right now it's just me, And I'm sure my larynx is going to thank me for it tomorrow. But I wanted to do Sunday service tonight because I was coming in on a high from the Information Man show. Much love once again to that brother for bringing me on his platform, and for the subscribers that I've gained since then, from the new family members that I've gained since then. I appreciate y'all. I do. I appreciate y'all. And y'all got to understand that it's pretty much going to be this every time. I'll talk about different things, but I'm always going to trail it back to what we need out here, and we need repair. And what we need out here, we need reparations. Yeah. And we obviously know the real reasons. There was issues with the production people and John Amos. So, they had to write it into the script that they killed him off. And they killed James off. As the Evans family looked like they were going to get out of the projects, one of the many times that they almost got out of the projects. When it looked like they were going to get out of the projects, James was he was traveling. I think he was working on like a pipeline or something like that. And they were going to settle in Mississippi. And they wrote it into the script that James died in a car accident. I mean, they was having a going away party and everything. Remember, they was having a going away party, and then the way we found out about James dying was on a telegram. That's how we found out James died. Nobody called. Remember, their phone used to get cut off every now and then because they didn't pay the bill. But nobody called Florida. They sent a telegram. This is the way they killed off the black father on the TV. And from what we're hearing, possibly the first black father to die off on TV. So they killed James off as he was out seeking a better life for his family. Now, he was going to have to go back to the state that enslaved millions of people, Mississippi, to do so. You got to understand the language. They were going to have to move back south. James had talked about being from down south, not wearing no shoes, and this, that, and the other, having to drop out of school and work for his family. Now, his family was about to go back down south because he had got this great job. He was going to move them down south. And he died. Florida didn't work. Remember, she sporadically had a job here and there when James would lose his shit or get laid off. But Florida didn't work. She was a homemaker. She was a housewife. She was a mother of 3 who took care of the home. Now she's forced into working. Only thing she knows is domestic work. I don't even know if they were. No, Florida hadn't graduated school because remember, she went back to school to get her diploma. So you had 2 uneducated people who were raising 3 children in the projects. And just as it looks like they're going to make their way finally up out there after so many other failed attempts, they killed it. They killed it. Absolutely. If you have not subscribed to Brother Information Man, absolutely subscribe. Damn. There ain't been a safe punch bowl in this motherfucker since. There ain't been a safe punch bowl. When motherfuckers get upset, punch bowls be like, oh shit, this could be it. Punch bowls drove a school bus. But I'm sorry, Florida didn't have a driver's license when James was on the show. They didn't drive. Florida didn't drive. She didn't have no driver's license. She might have had a state ID, but all of a sudden she's driving a bus. So she went and got a driver's license and a chauffeur's license, and now she's driving a bus after never driving in her life. Get the fuck out of here. They would write some bullshit into the script. Drove a school bus. Okay. She ain't never drove shit with her motherfucking hush puppies, but now she driving a school bus. You want to pick good times apart? We can pick good times the fuck apart. I love that show. I'll go home and watch that shit on if it's tonight. But it was a bunch of bullshit. Gotta driving deaf kids. Larry, he was deaf. Damn near fell down the elevator shaft. Kim Fields back then. Gary Coleman. All them future stars and shit. She was driving the bus. She didn't know she was driving the new Black Hollywood to school. And then they got trapped. The bus stopped and they got trapped in that abandoned building and shit. And they had to make the fire and all. Then Florida became a motherfucking Girl Scout and shit. Get the fuck out of here. They used to have some episodes, some really far-fetched shit. But we loved it just the same. We kept watching that shit. You know. JJ get them good jobs. He get them good art jobs, and they just get fucked up. You know. He was a ghetto artist. You know. He was a ghetto muralist. JJ in real life would have been a motherfucking graffiti artist. But because he had the family dynamic, they wanted him to put his artistic talents on canvas. But JJ should have been out spraying the motherfucking L train. You know what I'm saying? JJ should have been spray painting, you know, the fucking overpass ducts and shit like that. Spray painting the buildings. That's who JJ really was in real life. But they gave him a father dynamic, so they kept him in, and he wanted him to do better with his art. But in real life, JJ was out in the streets with a spray can. He wasn't painting with no goddamn brush. They wanted JJ to be the Black Picasso. Shit. After James left, all hell broke loose. Shit. You want to go back in time a little bit, you know, all these shows now thinking they doing something, they groundbreaking, coming out with the LGBT and shit like that. We knew Michael was gay back then. See, a lot of people didn't know Michael was gay back on Good Times. I knew. I didn't know then. I was young then. But you look at Good Times now. Go ahead and look at Good Times from the beginning to the end. And they gave Michael some girlfriends through the course of the show. They sure did. I mean, you know, the brother could sing, he could dance. His afro wasn't really right. He had that Eddie Monster in the front. His afro never got really right, but he did what he could with it. He was a good dresser. Michael dressed incredibly well for them to be a broke-ass family and never had a job. I don't know how he dressed the way he did, but he dressed incredibly well to be out there like that. I don't know. I don't know if they was fined and stuff. Remember, JJ used to find stuff. Did JJ used to find Michael's clothes? JJ used to steal like a motherfucker. They said JJ be like, I can find something. Yeah, JJ was a thief. Okay. And the only time JJ didn't steal was when he got arrested for that robbery on his 18th birthday. You know, remember he got arrested on his 18th birthday and shit. He was a robbery suspect. Yeah. They thought JJ went out there because he was so disappointed and shit from not getting no presents. He went out there and robbed a liquor store. JJ didn't have no gun. Where JJ would he got a gun from? Wrong guy. They had the wrong guy. This shit goes back decades. They arrested the wrong guy. And what would have really happened, JJ wasn't the actual robber, okay? He wasn't the actual robber. He'd probably got killed coming out the liquor store in real life. They managed to apprehend JJ with no money, no bag, no mask, no gun, no nothing. But they arrested him. Black Jesus. You talking about Ned DeWino? Ned DeWino. Okay. Michael Evans was James Baldwin? Is that what you're saying, OG? He was James Baldwin? Okay. I'll fuck with that. He was always on his scholar shit. He was militant as fuck. You know? Hey. And Missy Ballwagon. What is that? He had a fat butt. I don't know what that's about. Oh, but Cleon robbed the bank. Oh, yeah. Y'all do know Cleon became a porn star, right? Cleon became a porn star. It wasn't Cleon, it was Cletus. Cousin Cletus. That's his name. Cleon was Mad Dog, if I'm not mistaken. Cleon was Mad Dog, who shot JJ. But Cousin Cletus was the one who robbed the bank, and the FBI was looking for it. Yeah. Yeah. Cleon was Mad Dog. And you know who Mad Dog's mama was on Good Times? It was Donna from Sanford and Son. Donna was Mad Dog's mama on Good Times, and that's, you know, Donna from Sanford and Son. Oh, absolutely. Good Times was a very political show, and if we look at it without the rose-colored wanting to be entertained glasses, they broke down the 70s for black folks. They broke it down. We were just laughing. And in reality, our ancestors were crying like, they really doing this shit? They now done flipped the script and writing that script and showing our detriment. Good Times, think about it. Good Times was set in the 70s. So Good Times was supposed to be coming off the civil rights movement. Shit was supposed to be better for us in the 70s after the 60s. Look how good it got for us. It got us good times. It got us good times. Corrupt black politician Alderman Davis. He coming through fleecing people, you know. James' claim to fame was he got him in the projects. You know, the crazy thing is, there's a dichotomy there. And because Peace Sunday Night Smoke, because I am such a fucking Good Times head, if anybody else is in here, you'll know what I'm talking about. When Lil Jimmy was going against Alderman Davis in the election, James told Florida that Alderman Davis got him in the projects. That's why he was so loyal to Alderman Davis, if anybody remembers that. Let me find another joint, because I'm just about this bitch. I'm gonna end it on a note. I'm gonna end on some fucking black trivia. Disco, cocaine, pimping pastors. What's that? Is that on BET right now? That must be on BET. Disco, cocaine, and pimping pastors. Sounds like a BET show. Produced by Tyler Perry. Starring Clifton Powell. He's a pimp and a pastor. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And owns the discotheque. He's also the dope dealer. Clifton Powell will play all those roles. Clifton Powell can play a club owner. He can play a dope dealer. He can play a pastor. He can play a pimp. Clifton Powell is one of our great treasures in black Hollywood history. Love him. So, James said Alderman Davis helped him get into the projects. Do y'all remember that? Can anybody validate that with me? I got a couple real people still in here. I know y'all ain't bots and shit. Do y'all remember the episode when James said that? Alderman Davis got him in. And then I'm gonna take you back. I'm gonna take you back to when James said it before that. And then you'll remember that shit too. Thank you, Missy. So Missy remembers. Or she's just like, get on with the fucking content, motherfucker. She could be just like, I want to hear the punchline to this shit. So she either remembers or she just wants me to get on. I'll know in the future. Because if she's just like that all the time, like, move it. And, I'll know she really just wants to get on with the content. But if she really remembers, she's going to remember this too. I'm just fucking with you, Missy. So he said Alderman Davis got him in the projects. Now let's go back to when they were about to get evicted. They were about to get evicted. This is episode 1 through 3. I can't remember exactly which one. It's an early one. They were about to get evicted. Okay? I'm going to put everybody in frame in a minute. Stymie from Little Rascals was James' friend, Monty. Stymie from Little Rascals was James's friend, Monty. Hopefully y'all remember that. I'm telling you, I'm deep with this good times trivia. If I ever go on like Black Jeopardy and shit, I'm winning this category. Stymie was James's friend. And she said, what did you put your faith in him for? He don't know shellac from Shinola. Remember when Florida said that? And James said that Monty helped him get into the projects. He helped James in Florida get into the projects. Later years, this is bad script writing, if you ask me. Y'all should have already known that James said one of his ghetto-ass friends helped him get into projects and not the fucking alderman. How would James have known the alderman? Where would James have known Alderman Davis from before he got to the projects? Bad script writing. You know who was writing scripts back then? Jay Leno and them. White people was writing them goddamn scripts. Okay. So, with that being said, that episode had Stymie from Little Rascals. The guy who was trying to evict them was Smitty from Sanford and Son, who eventually became the dad on 227, Hal Williams, I believe his name was. A lot of black Hollywood stars came through Good Times. Good Times, Sanford and Son, all of them that we would grow up on and watch later. And he revised his kind of attitude and his character in a lot of his roles. Hal Williams, a great actor. Great actor. Hal Williams, he survived in spite of. That's why I say there's always somebody that can inspire you and shit. I ain't got the most attractive dental work. My shit ain't as straight as it needs to be and shit. I got all my teeth that I need to have, had some wisdoms pulled, but my shit ain't as attractive as I need it to be. Hal Williams didn't have attractive dental work either, and he made it in Hollywood. So I don't ever want to hear a motherfucker say, you got to have straight teeth to make it in Hollywood. You don't have to have straight teeth to make it in Hollywood, because he was a motherfucking actor, and his teeth were jacked up. His teeth were jacked up, and he made a career out of fucking performing in Hollywood. So you ain't got to have a right grill. Young, wealthy, and black academy. I appreciate you. That's that American freedman. And once again, shout out to the United Sons and Daughters of American freedmen. We've got to get repaired, y'all. And the first thing that we got to do is we've got to come together. We got to come together with the understanding, the ideology that we need repair. Brother Los, I appreciate you. That was going to be kind of long-winded for me to say. I was about to have to acronym you. YWBA. But see, that sounds like something else. I don't want that. I like it. I'll go with Los. Brother Los, I appreciate you. Welcome to Sunday service. I need to rewatch as an adult. Oh my, you have to. You have to watch to analyze the shit that they put out in these scripts back in the 70s. White supremacy was all in them scripts. We laughing at it and shit back then and now. But I look at it with a critical eye. I'm like, look at you motherfuckers. Look at what y'all did to us. Remember Women's Lib? Remember Women's Lib came through? Women's right, feminism. James went for the job. They wanted to give it to Florida. Yeah. Remember that? And remember, here's something here. And I'm going to end, because I've been just 2 hours. I've been in this bitch 2 hours. What the fuck? Let me end it right here. Let me just show you. Let me just go and piss somebody off real quick. This is going to piss somebody off. Because somebody going to catch the end of it, and they're going to see what I'm talking about. So James went in for this job. And he had interviewed with a woman. The woman, Mrs. Garrett from The Facts of Life and other things, Charlotte Ray. She played on a lot of black shows back in the day, a little ditzy receptionist or manager type, and but she was funny. She was a funny actress. James had went in there and put that black magic down on her. Not the black magic stick, but black magic. And she had basically gave James the job. James even said at home, he's like, yeah, I practically charmed the pants off that woman. Florida didn't like that term. People use that term all the time, charm the pants off somebody. But Florida didn't like it. Because I didn't know at that time, but what the sexual connotation is, I charmed the pants off her. I hit that. And once I hit that, she said, you got the job. He didn't mean that. Florida thought he meant that, da-da-dee-da-da-da, whatever. It is what it is. Hemmed up shit. So she had basically said, you just come back, follow suit, you'll meet with the manager, you'll get the job. When that episode came up, James was thinking he was going in to get the job. He took Florida with him. Because he basically said, I'm a lock, and once I get in there, I can get you in there. So when the interview came up, Mrs. Garrett, who we know as Mrs. Garrett, met her manager in the hallway. And he was like, oh, great. Is that the new hire? She was like, yeah, he's great. He's like, I was talking about she. Because, see, he needed to do an equal opportunity hire. He needed to hire a black woman, not a black. They got their quotas on niggas. Now we got to go get a niggette. And she was like, I all but promised Mr. Evans the job. He was like, well, go unpromise him. She's like, oh, I can't do that. And he said, I can. So the white man snatched James' file right out of his hand. White supremacy. He don't give a fuck if that black man can feed his family or not. He gonna go give the job to his wife instead. And you know, at that time, the black man was already making less money than the white man, and the black woman was making less money than the black man, and she was making less money than the white man and the white woman. So who was gonna still support? James gonna still be working at the car wash, and Florida gonna be working at the stove. Because James could always go back to the car wash. He could always go back to the car wash, where he couldn't survive and support his family. But now Florida, she's going to be working a job, and she ain't going to be able to survive and support her family. Why? Because she's at work, James at work, Thelma's in the street getting turned out, JJ's painting motherfucking graffiti, and Michael, oh boy, Michael was conflicted. He was a militant, but then he joined some other groups. Look at it for what it is, or we can just watch the shows and just continue to laugh. It is what it is. Claudine, you don't cross Florida Evans and Diane Carroll, please. You don't do that to me. Although I respect the chocolate sister, God bless the dead, Esther Roll. I respect her. But she ain't got shit on Diane Carroll. Sorry. Diane Carroll is actually one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. Diane Carroll was fucking flawless back in the 60s and the 70s. I don't believe Diane Carroll had a flaw in her prime. In her heyday, I bet you Diane Carroll's, I'm going to go back and look at some of her movies. I bet you Diane Carroll's elbows, I bet you ain't none of this dark. I bet you her elbows, how you get in there, the camera, I'm fucked up. See how dark my elbow is? It might even be a little ashy, sorry. I bet you Diane Carroll's elbows is the same motherfucking color as her arm. Diane Carroll didn't have a blemish on her body. How many kids did they say she had churned out in Claudine? And look at her body. Her body had the snapback. Diane Carroll had the snapback. She had about 6. Did she have a 6? She had 6, right? She had like 5 or 6. I think she had 6. Yeah, it's fucked up. He was the James Baldwin of the show. Michael was the James Baldwin of the show. He was. Scholar, just always reading shit, reading every goddamn thing. That's how I want my grandkids. Read every goddamn thing. Read it all. Sound it out. I was taught to read newspapers and Reader's Digest and shit. I wasn't reading no fucking funny papers. I wasn't reading no comic strips and shit. That shit was lame to me. Yeah, I read Beetle Bailey. I read the Lockhorns. I read all that political shit. Lockhorns wasn't nothing but motherfucking All in the Family. Beetle Bailey, that turned into what? Gomer Pyle and all that shit? It was just TV shows, eventual TV shows. They had the comic strips and they had the TV shows behind the shit. I used to read all that shit, man. And what was it? Ernest and something. It was some real deep political humor and shit. I used to get into all that, man. Yeah. James Earl Jones. Yeah. Uh-oh. I ain't looking over to the half space. They said some over here. Even down to the Schoolhouse Rock. I am a bill. Just a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. That must be the lynching bill. That must be the anti-lynching bill and shit. I am a bill. Just a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. fuck. She had to hide her old man in the motherfucking closet with the toaster he had gave her and the TV it gave her and shit. They had put all that motherfucking shit. They had to put all that shit in the closet with him and shit. He Root bringing over shit that he finds on his goddamn garbage route. He's bringing her garbage. Shit that white people had thrown out because they got a new toaster. They got a new TV. He's bringing it to her so she could have a TV, so she could have a toaster, and she couldn't have it because she was on welfare. You dirty motherfuckers. You dirty motherfuckers. Y'all do know the shit that James Earl Jones was bringing over there was from his garbage route. He wasn't buying her new toasters. He wasn't buying her new TVs. He was getting that shit on his garbage route. And they didn't let her have it because she was on welfare. You dirty motherfuckers. Conjunction, junction. What's your function? Yeah. 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 And think about it. Look at the bill. I am a bill, the anti-lynching bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Look at that bill and see if they're not depicting a white man. I mean, a black man. Even though it's white. Listen to the fucking voice. Because the voice sounds like a blues singer and shit. And just look at how we've been fucked up in the political system. I am a bill. Just an anti-lynching bill. I am a bill. An HR 40 bill. This shit was in the making. Gladys Knight and the Pips did a hell of a soundtrack for. Oh my God. Nigga, you about to go make me watch Claudine tonight. Tired of you already. We sang all the jangles. As in Bojangles. Who the fuck else you gonna get to sing the motherfuckers? The Five Horsemen? They ain't got no money. The fuck, man. We did it all. We you know what? You're some rotten motherfuckers. White America did some funky ass shit. They had us singing jingles to our detriment. We would even be singing the songs to the fucking sitcoms and shit that we were dead broke on. Scratching and surviving. Scratching and surviving. Are you fucking kidding me? Scratching and surviving. Hold on a second, motherfuckers. We're going to get out of here. But y'all done got me. I'm in rare form right now and shit. Take my ass home. God damn it. Hold on a second. So, a lot of y'all know this shit, but I'm just going to end it, bro. You got to keep this live going. Dude, I've been on here 2 hours, man. And I just did 3 hours on Information Man show. I did 5 hours today, bro. I don't want the fucking song. I just want to fucking read these lyrics. Oh, that's not. I want the whole lyric sheet, motherfucker. There we go. Give me the whole motherfucker. Scratching, I'm telling you, man. Scratching and surviving. Is this the fucking dead link? Do you not have it, or do you have it or not? Or are you the same? No, you cocksucker. Get out of there. Okay, fuck it. I mean, I know that there's temporary lay. Okay, so maybe it is. Good times. Anytime you meet a payment. So anytime we paid our fucking bills on time was good times. Anytime you need a friend, I'll agree with that. Good times. But my grandmother told me, you got $1, you got a friend. You ain't got $1, you ain't got no friends. Get the fuck out of here. Anytime you're out from under what? They just put up that global statement and we rode with that for 50 fucking years now. Anytime you're out from under. Are you serious? Here it is. Not getting hassled, not getting hustled. These are good times. To not get hassled and to not get hustled is a good time. I'd just say that I had a good day. I didn't get hassled and I didn't get hustled. I just say, I had a good day. Why would that be good times for me, though? Why should I feel excited about that? Keeping your head above water. Making a wave when you can. See? I bet you all y'all been saying the same shit that I've been saying. Keeping your head above water. Making a wave when you can. That wasn't the lyric. It was making a wave when you can. Not making a way, making a wave. Keeping your head above water. Don't drown, nigga. If you don't drown, you have good times. And making a wave when you can. Every now and then you hit the lottery number. Remember when James hit the lottery number? He was having good luck because of Black Jesus. I'll give you a little bit more, a little history on that. I'm about to get the fuck up out of here. The dude that came and gave James the money for the lottery that he won when they had Black Jesus on the wall, that was the creator of the show Good Times, Eric Monty. That's who Monty, his friend, was named after. The show was, there was a real Michael Evans. There was a part of the production cast. And Eric Monty was the creator. He's the one that brought the shit to like Norman Lear and all them shits. And he's the motherfucker that brought the lottery money to James when James hit with Black Jesus on the wall. He said, hey man, your number hit. Your number hit. Remember that shit? Your number hit. And James didn't want to give him a tip. He just gave him $5, and then he ended up giving him $1. Motherfucker. So here we go. Here we go. Temporary layoffs. Good times. Easy credit ripoffs. Good times. Here we go. It's everybody's favorite. Get with me. Scratching and surviving. Scratching and surviving is good times. Are you fucking kidding me? They said scratching and surviving. Good times. Hanging in the chow line. The fuck out of here. The fuck out of here. Hanging in the chow line. Good times. That shit is supposed to be good times? Hey, what you doing tonight, man? I'm just hanging in the chow line. What you got up later, nigga? Man, I'm just gonna hang in the chow line. Good times. Oh shit. Ain't we lucky we got him? No, we're not. We're not lucky we got him. We are not lucky. If I'm hanging in the chow line, I don't consider myself fortunate at all. I'm not lucky. If I'm scratching and surviving, first and foremost, why am I scratching? You want to tell me why I'm scratching? I'm an American. Why do I have to be scratching out here and surviving? What you doing, man? Scratching and surviving. Just looking out of the window. watching the asphalt grow. Just looking out of the window, watching the asphalt grow. Asphalt grows? I mean, I've seen tumbleweeds grow in the asphalt, but asphalt grows? And what the fuck you doing just looking out the window? Go get a job. Get out of the window. What are you doing in the window? And why would you be sitting there long enough to watch the asphalt grow? You're spending too much time looking out the window. How long you been watching? How long you been staying in this window? I don't know. The asphalt grew though. Okay, whatever. Thinking how it all looks, hand me down. We're gonna break this one down. Thinking how it all looks, hand me down. Good times, yeah. Keeping your head above water, making a wave when you, okay, I get it. We got to go back to this. Thinking how it all looks, hand me down. Thinking how it all looks, hand me down. Yeah. What the fuck? What the fuck does that line mean? They just made up a line and we never fucking figured it out. Thinking how it all looks, hand me down. Like our clothes and shit. Your mom brought some new clothes and shit home. Were they new to you? And then one of the kids say, that all looks hand me down. I mean, where did that line come from? Thinking how, because it doesn't. Just looking out of the window, watching the asphalt, thinking how it all looks hand me down. Where the fuck did that lyric come from? It doesn't rhyme with anything or nothing. They just stuck that bitch in there. Here, stick this in there. We need a fourth line. We've got just looking out the window, watching the asphalt grow, and then we're going to come back with good times. Yeah, good times. We got to slide something in it before the good times. Put in thinking how it all looks, hand me down. That'll work. Oh, yeah, that fits. Okay, got it. Are you fucking kidding me? Like hand-me-downs. It looks right, meaning the neighborhood. Oh, okay. So, because they're looking out the window, watching the asphalt grow, thinking how it all looks hand-me-down. So their neighborhood looks secondhand, looks beaten down, looks raggedy, toe up. Got it. Way to dig into there, Free. Way to dig in there. Like hand-me-downs, looks like raggedy. Yeah, I'll write with that. So they're talking about their neighborhood looking like hand-me-down, a secondhand. But you know what? You know who hand-me-downs work for? They work for white people because they gentrify your neighborhoods. Looking like hand-me-downs. Looking like low prices. Looking like we about to gentrify this bitch. White people like hand-me-downs. Why don't black people? How come black people don't like hand-me-downs? White people come in and take a whole used up neighborhood and move in it. Black people don't want to move in the neighborhood. They want to move out where the white people live. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they don't own the land. It's handed down to them by the landlord. And see, you got to look inside your statement there, Free. This is the conspiracy. This is the C-O-N-spiracy. They don't own the land. It's handed down to them by the landlord. But what happened to hand-me-downs? You don't keep them forever. They go to somebody else. So eventually, they kick your ass out to projects. Somebody else get your hand-me-downs. And then somebody else get them hand-me-downs. And then somebody else get them hand-me-downs. You know what? Nobody ever owns a fucking project house. There you go. And on that note, I think I'm going to get up out of here. I appreciate everybody on the YouTube side, Facebook side. Probably had 3 people in fucking Facebook, 1,400 people over there, I think, in Facebook, and about 3 motherfuckers on a regular basis check me out. I need to start going, but I don't have time to unfriend motherfuckers. I just don't communicate with them. I don't communicate with them when I see them in the street. A lot of motherfuckers be rolling up on me now. I don't have my truck long enough. They know what kind of truck it is. They roll me on the shit. I act like I don't see them. I don't know you, bitch. You don't support me, and I don't support you. I don't even support myself waving to you anymore. It a day. So, NM, we don't have the resources, so all we can do is look at the hand-me-down. Yeah. Yeah. HUD does what, brother? HUD does what? Then I'm gonna get up out of here. Speak your piece on that one. We should start breaking down motherfucking black sitcom lyrics. I don't think any of them is detrimental as that. Most of them are instrumentals anyway. But you know, when you break shit down like that, so much white supremacy in that bullshit. I appreciate you, Sister Tanya. I appreciate you, Missy. Hopefully you'll come back for more. I really didn't mean to keep y'all. He owns the projects. It does. Yeah. Yeah. And when you go to a project development now, woo, shit, you know, you from here, go over to the white townhouses. Go the white townhouses, they white. There's a lot of white people living there now. White people, Asian people, Latino people, Arabs. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. White townhouses ain't all black people no more. Even the white townhouses got gentrified, bruh. Thank you. I appreciate you. And there'll be more. What do you say? God willing and the creek don't rise? I think, yeah, because I said the creek for years. Like, who the creek? But it's the creek. So, yeah, I'll keep bringing it the same way. Hopefully better sound. You know, I can't give you much more to look at, but, you know, better graphics. You know, I want to get to information level. Information level, he can do all kind of shit with his shit. I want to get to my shit. Right now, I'm up to, got my name on the screen. I got my green screen in the back. Sounds pretty decent. I think I can get better, but, you know, I already got my eye on the mic. The mic that I wanted at the time that I was going to get it was back ordered. And I said, you know what? I got 3 mics. I'm going to run these mics. I'll lose one of these mics. I'll buy that next mic. Other than that, I don't need it. That's right, Free. Everybody but us. We get scrutinized to move into there now. They come in, they can get right in there. They can get right in there, stack their money, and they'll be owning a house in about 5 years. That's not a stair step for us. That's sometimes a 10, 15, 20-year engagement. Another show, y'all. But I appreciate y'all. I definitely appreciate y'all. And if you have not subscribed to Friedman Media, I don't know what you're doing in here at hour 2 and 28 minutes. So at least do yourself the justice of getting the notification that I'm going to do the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, you're going to be subscribed. And if you never want to come back, at least be notified when I'm going to be on, then you can stay away from YouTube. Whatever it is, whatever works for you. Appreciate y'all. Y'all be good. One love.